Hello everyone, Vincent Neal here from Camas Foundation. Today I'm honored to be joined by Jordan Long, founder of Revital Colorado, an organization that's making a profound impact on the lives of first responders and their families. Through outdoor experiences, peer support, and proactive mental health resources, Revital is helping those who serve our communities reconnect, recharge, and heal. Jordan's journey from firefighter and paramedic to nonprofit leader is both inspiring and deeply personal. And we're especially excited to spotlight Revital Colorado as the fundraising recipient for our upcoming Hero Fest events, an opportunity for all of us to give back to the heroes among us. Jordan, welcome, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having us, and appreciate you guys selecting us as the recipient this year.
Absolutely. So what inspired you to start Revital Colorado, and how did your personal experience shape its mission?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, it's deeply personal to me. So I spent nearly 10 years as a firefighter paramedic with Adams County Fire Rescue, kind of in the North Denver area. And when I started my career, there was no education, there was no training on how to keep yourself healthy, how to communicate with your families. It was all, don't bleed this stuff on your spouse and shove it down and don't talk about it. And so I went through my career not really being able to communicate with my wife about the things that I was seeing and dealing with on a daily basis. And, in this profession and in these careers, you see things that most people don't ever see. And we compartmentalize the best that we can. But the best way that I can always describe it is we build a wall between our head and our heart. And we got to run calls with our head, but it's tough to navigate that wall emotionally with our family and our friends. And that's really what happened to me. And my wife would let me know, hey, you're more irritable, you're less present, you're emotionless. And I didn't see any of it. I was like, I'm fine, right? I'm doing a great job at work. I'm building another business on the side. And really my work-life balance started to create a wall between my wife and I. I had some tough kid calls throughout my career. And then really the straw that broke the camel's back was in 2016, I ran a call at 2 o'clock in the morning and ended up finding my own aunt on scene dead. And that moment, I wrapped my arms around my cousin who was on the scene, and I just couldn't produce a tear. And I was like, okay, maybe this career has affected me a little bit. But I didn't do anything about it. They told us, hey, there's clinicians, there's counselors. We all made fun of that stuff more than we ever utilized it. And in 2019, things kind of came to a head with my wife and I, and she said, you got to make a decision, choose one career or the other. I left the profession, and at that time, I was on our peer support team, and my chief asked me to stick around. And over the next 6 to 8 months, that really shaped why Revital exists today. I got calls left and right to buddies who I had worked shoulder to shoulder with, side by side. I pulled a gun out of one guy's hands. I put 2 of my buddies in rehab facilities, walked multiple people through divorces, and I was like, man, why is all this coming now? I'm not a part of the brotherhood or the sisterhood anymore. But I think they felt enough connection and trust and there was a separation now with the agency. They didn't feel like it was going to make its way around. So I started to look at my hobbies, my interests, fly fishing, golf, things that I had not done for a 3-year period of time to keep myself healthy. And really that's my personal journey to getting this started. I looked at the resources that were offered at the time, and I'm not knocking this, but everything was responsive in nature, right? It was, hey, if you're messed up, go talk to somebody. And unfortunately, we didn't do that. And so we started Revital Colorado to build community, connection, build trust, and just love on folks in a different way, give them different opportunities to decompress. So it's a little bit about how it started.
Well, and that's a great segue, because I know Revital emphasizes a proactive approach to mental health for first responders. Can you share how your programs, like you referenced outdoor outings and family engagements, help achieve that goal?
Yeah, so really the goal with our outings is to get people to understand, no matter where you're at in your career, in your mental health journey, whether you think the job is bothering you or not, come out on our outings. Just use it as free fun, decompression, and oftentimes what they find when they get there is this genuine, authentic connection in just an environment that is different than what they're used to. And they didn't have to plan it, they didn't have to pay for it, they just come out. And then our goal on the outing is to also create some conversation around how do you stay ahead of this stuff. And that's really what we believe is the proactive approach, as well as training and educating new hires and people that are in academies how to keep themselves healthy, how to keep their relationships healthy throughout their career.
Yeah, now are you able to share some of the feedback that you've gotten from responders who have participated in your programs?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's overwhelming to think about. I don't oftentimes let myself go there and want to remain super humble, but I will tell you that we have had several responders talk about how Revital has saved their life. And I think that's the thing. You never know where somebody's at, even when they're on an outing, because a lot of times we're reserved. We don't share our feelings. We don't wear them on our sleeve. But when they write in their post-trip surveys what Revital means to them, a lot of times it saved my life. I never knew how much I needed this until I went out. That was an awesome way for me to decompress. Thank you for the connections and resources that you have offered. So it's been overwhelmingly positive. And unlike this community normally that's not willing to share, they're actually willing to write testimonials that we put up on our website.
Yeah. Now, I know you've kind of alluded to this already, but one of the things I love is how you support not just the first responder, but the whole family unit. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think when I left the job, I realized in 5-6 months after the toll that it took on my family and my kids, and that I didn't realize when I was in it. And so our goal was, how do we support the family as a whole? Because if we can keep the responders and their families healthy outside of work, they're a lot better when they go to work, which is ultimately better for the communities that they serve. So we understand that the spouses and the kids go through stuff when their firefighter or their police officer or their dispatcher is at work, worrying about them, if they're going to come home, how they're going to come home. And so we wanted to support them with outings, with support groups, and we just try to make it possible for them to get together and strengthen their relationships at home.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're thrilled to have Revital Colorado as our fundraising recipient for our Hero Fest events. How can our community support during these events help you further your mission?
Oh my gosh, I mean, just by doing what you guys are doing, I don't think people understand the financial strain on nonprofits, especially in the current economy that we're in. Running a nonprofit is tough, and so number one, the fundraising help that you guys are giving us is going to go so far in serving so many responders. The second thing is obviously the public education component behind it. Oftentimes the public doesn't fully understand what responders go through. They're seen as heroes, which is great, but there's also another side of this. And so by you guys creating an event that you're creating, we can educate the public alongside you guys on what we do, why this is important. And then lastly, spreading the word to businesses and donors that may want to get involved. Because what we find is almost everybody we talk to wants to support the responder community. They just don't know how. And hopefully we can give them a vehicle to do that, but they can't help unless they know about our organization.
Jordan, thanks again for joining us today, and thank you for being here.
Appreciate you guys for having us, and thanks for all that you're doing.
Any final thoughts you want to share?
No, I just, as I said, extend our sincere gratitude on behalf of our organization and the responder community for you guys selecting us this year.
Absolutely. As we look ahead to our Hero Fest events, we invite our community to join us in celebrating and supporting these everyday heroes. These free community festivals are a great time for the whole family, and our first one is coming up on Saturday, September 6th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Denver South High School, located right next to Washington Park. And our Northern Colorado Hero Fest is the following Saturday, September 13th, and will take place at Front Range Village in Fort Collins, also from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Visit canvascares.org for more details, and if you're unable to attend but would still like to show your support, simply click on the donate button located next to this video. Jordan, thanks again for joining us, and thank all of you for watching. Until next time, remember that together we can do more.